What? Could Michael Myers' father have actually been in on it this entire time? Could the father of Michael Myers been a doctor at Smith's Grove Sanitarium and it's been right under our noses this entire time? Oh my God! My tongue is firmly planted in my cheek. Happy Father's Day, everybody. I thought this was a fun video to do because it is Father's Day. And yes, my tongue is firmly planted in my cheek, but nonetheless, I think this is interesting. This is kind of fun. This is new information in regards to the original Halloween. And again, how much new information can we possibly squeeze out of this original movie? Not very much. Now, to be fair, this has been on the peripheral of the Halloween sort of zeitgeist for a while. So if you already know about this, then it's not new information to you. But like I said, it's kind of been on the edges. It hasn't really made its way into the mainstream yet. And maybe this video will do that, if for nothing more than just an anecdotal thing. I mean, it's again, my tongue is firmly planted in my cheek, but nonetheless, this is kind of interesting. And it's Father's Day, so why not do this video on Father's Day? Now, I also made a post about all this over on my Facebook page, Many Things Dave McRae. There's the links to all my social media there, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure you check out my links and follow me if you're not already doing it. All the links are in the description. Okay, so let's go over to the other screen here. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about an actor by the name of George O'Hanlon Jr. All right, there he is, George O'Hanlon Jr. Remember that face, folks. Remember that face. There he is there. Look at him. Looks like he could be part of the Beatles or the Monkees or, I don't know, the Partridge Family, the Brady Bunch. It's a great 70s headshot, I'm just saying. Look at that leather jacket. Rocking that leather jacket. That hairdo. I think I'm going to grow my hair out like that. So there he is, George O'Hanlon Jr. And if we scroll all the way down here, he was in a bunch of stuff. What? He was Mr. Peter Myers, uncredited in the original Halloween from 1978. Well, that's interesting. Well, who the heck is Peter Myers? Well, Peter Myers is this guy right here. Michael? It's Michael's father. Now, the mother, as we can see kind of on the far right over there, is not credited anywhere. Let me see if I could actually just move this down a little bit here. There we go. Now, we don't get a good look at him. Now, again, this is according to IMDb, so you always got to take these things with a grain of salt. But if we take it at face value, according to IMDb, George O'Hanlon Jr. is this actor right here. He's this guy right here. Now, again, we don't really get a good shot of his face. I don't even know if that's his voice or if that was, some ADR afterwards. Michael? Who knows, right? It could have been anybody, really. But nonetheless, and you don't even really get a good shot of his profile either. So it's difficult to say for sure, but I could believe it. I mean, it's so kind of inconclusive that I guess it could be. Why not, right? So let's take it at face value. This is George O'Hanlon Jr., according to IMDb, Mr. Peter Myers, the father of Michael Myers. Happy Father's Day, Peter Myers. You raised a good kid. He's a little temperamental. But at the end of the day, you raised a good egg. You're a hell of a father, Peter. Hell of a father. All right, now let's go back to George O'Hanlon Jr.'s IMDb page. And there he is. There's that face. Now, I want you to get a good look at that face. Get a good look at that face. Have it burned into your memory. Folks. Now, remember back in the early 80s when Halloween was making its network debut and they had to add those extra scenes to pad that runtime, to extend it to, as close to 2 hours as they possibly could. Now, that, of course, has been known since then as the extended TV cut of Halloween. Halloween, the extended cut. Now, I've never looked at it as officially canon per se. Not that there's anything they added that would change the story or the narrative, but whenever they release Halloween in any sort of official capacity, it is usually always just the 90-minute theatrical cut. That is Halloween 1978. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't, in some sort of box set, special edition will add the TV cut and the TV version. They do. But if you just want to go into the store and buy Halloween on the shelf, whether it's 4K or Blu-ray or VHS back in the day, even though they did release a TV cut version on VHS because I do have it, 99.9% of the time it is just the 90-minute film. So that for me is the quintessential official canon cut of the movie. That being said, there is that TV extended cut, right? And there is that scene towards the beginning of the movie where Dr. Loomis is talking to those two doctors at Smith's Grove Sanitarium about Michael Myers, right? You remember that. We all know that scene. It's a cool scene. It's unnecessary to the film, but it's certainly, for some people, they like it because it adds a bit of, some context to some things and fills some things out. I get it. I understand it. Well, let's go over to that scene now and the shot of those two doctors from that extended cut. Now, take a look at that face. Take a look at that face. And here are the two doctors from the early 80s TV cut. What? Well, wait a minute. That's not. Is that George O'Hanlon Jr.? It sure looks like him. It absolutely looks like him. Now, I can't find anywhere where there's, credits to the TV cut where he's credited. Even in the credits to the TV cut, these two doctors are not credited. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Now, maybe they were credited in the early 80s when this aired on network television. Perhaps they were in the credits. When I watch the end credits to the TV version, I don't see these two doctors credited anywhere. What is going on here? Is that George O'Hanlon Jr.? And if it is that Michael Myers' father? Could he have been a doctor this entire time at Smith's Grove Sanitarium, pulling the strings, doing some shady things he shouldn't have been doing? Maybe some mind control MK Ultra experimental shit on little kids? And Dr. Loomis wasn't any of the wiser, but the heat was on and he was starting to kind of figure some things out, and that's why he was being so dismissive during this scene. Wow. In reality, it's a low-budget movie. And if it was George O'Hanlon Jr., who was Michael's father, you didn't see him at all. You couldn't tell it was him, and they were probably like, hey, you want to come back and play this doctor? And he was like, yeah, sure. I mean, in reality, that is what this is. But if I know, I've learned a lot about the world of fandom over these last few years. And if there's anything I know for sure, there are going to be some people out there that are going to go, what if? Oh my God, and run with it and take it and do videos and blogs and theories and speculation. And they'll have like bulletin boards with push pins and red string, and they'll be trying to connect the dots and do all that. It's crazy. It's crazy. The sweat will be pouring off them, and they'll try to figure out how did they not know that Peter Myers was one of the doctors at Smith's Grove? Maybe he was the one that taught Michael how to drive. Oh my God. Oh my God. We have figured it out. Michael Myers learned how to drive from his own father. His own father, ladies and gentlemen. This guy right here, who was apparently played by this guy right here, who apparently also played this guy right here, is the guy that taught Michael how to drive. We have solved it, ladies and gentlemen. We have solved one of the greatest mysteries in the history of horror. One of the greatest mysteries in the history of Halloween. How did Michael Myers learn how to drive? It was his own goddamn father. It was his father. Oh, let's run with it. Let's run with it. Please, somebody out there, spread this around. Spread it like wildfire. Let's get crazy. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Michael Keaton, Batman, 1989. But still, you know what? I don't know if this is George O'Hanlon Jr. because, again, I can't find anywhere where these two guys are even credited. If you can find it, please let me know and point me to evidence where I can verify this. But it certainly looks like George O'Hanlon Jr., doesn't it? It looks like him. This is more difficult to verify again because it's not even a profile really. But according to IMDb, this is George O'Hanlon Jr. And yeah, I mean, I no reason to believe that it's not. It certainly could be. Fascinating stuff, folks. Fascinating stuff. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there, including George O'Hanlon Jr., the father of Michael Myers, who was a shady fucking doctor at Smiths Grove Sanitarium. I knew it. I knew there was something crazy going on. Goddamn son of a bitch. The case is open again. Oh, we're on to it now, baby. We're on to it now. Anyways, comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you want to follow me on social media, there are my links right there. All my links are in the description. Check them out until your heart's content. And when your heart is content, check them out again. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for me. Happy Father's Day to all the amazing fathers out there, whether you are a stepdad, a biological father, even just somebody that is like a big brother. Do you know what I mean? A big brother. I think anytime that you can make a difference in the lives of children or in the lives of anybody is an amazing thing. So hats off to all the, all the dads, but all the dad figures, all the good dad figures out there as well. Sincerely, amazing stuff. I'm not a dad myself. Well, unless you include my little fur baby Veda, my little cat. I guess I'm a fur father. That sounds weird. Sounds like one of those anyway, we don't want to get onto that, so it's really strange. Anyways, happy Father's Day. Comment below, let me know your thoughts. We figured it out. Peter Myers was in on it the whole fucking time. I knew it.